and all of a sudden I heard shwa. At that point, I did not feel any pain because the information was still being sent to my brain. The information had nearly reached to my brain that something major had happened. Hey loves, welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Elomo, and I'm film about relationships, growth, lifestyle. And before getting into today's video, drum rolls please. Who missed me? I know you guys miss me. I have missed you too. Oh my god. It feels like forever since I actually sat down to record a video. Fam, a lot has just been going on. I was sick, and coupled to that, I have a wedding to plan, so stress is actually trying to incorporate itself, but we're not letting it. Okay, so yes, that's what's been happening, but I'm back. I'm happy I'm back, and I'm here to stay by the grace of God. Why do I keep doing this with my hands? I don't know, but whatever the case, we move. Okay, get what you can get and run with it. So in today's video, it's actually a story time, a long overdue story time. Actually, I promised you guys this story time when I did the 40 questions challenge, and there was a question that said my worst pain, and I said my worst pain actually be when I experienced my fire oil burn incident. So yes, if you're interested to know how I managed to move from that to that, definitely keep on watching. Firstly, the incident happened when I was about, I cannot remember my age exactly then, but I think I was around class 3 to class 4 in primary school. So yes, it happened on a fateful Saturday. Elomo, keep your hands down. So it happened on a fateful Saturday, when that Saturday morning I woke up. I was fine, everything was okay. I woke up, out of the goodness of my heart, I said let me go and help my neighbors to actually clean their house. Saturday, Abby, I was done with what I was doing in my house. Please don't let my sisters deceive you. If my sisters are telling you this story, they'll say it was langadodo, but please, it was definitely never langadodo. It was out of the goodness of my heart. So that Saturday morning, I woke up and I left. I went to my neighbor's house because at the time we're staying in like a compound with many other houses for rent in the same compound. People share the same compound, the same fence, the same gates. People who are Africans know what I'm saying. So yes, that was what happened. I woke up that morning, I went to my neighbor's house to actually help them clean, and I was washing plates. So I was outside the house washing plates, bending down just in front of the house washing plates, and she was about frying dodo. Like, the eldest sister of the house was about frying dodo for breakfast for her junior ones in the house to eat. So while I was washing plates, she came outside. She put the oil on fire to be heating up while she's actually peeling the dodo, because we all know dodo doesn't take much time to peel and slice. So in her head, by the time she's done peeling the dodo, she'll just go and start frying. Fast cooking, right? So yeah, that was the plan. So she came outside, started peeling the dodo and slicing, and we're just all of us outside there gisting, discussing, while the oil was on fire, on heat. And you know how when you're gisting, you just get carried away, right? We even forgot that she had even put oil on the fire. She herself even forgot. And eventually I stood up because I was backing the house. I was washing plates outside, bending down, backing the house. So eventually I stood up and I turned and looked inside the house, and I saw fire catching. Apparently this oil had gotten overheated and fire had started catching from the oil. So I just turned and told her, like, hey, fire is catching from that oil. And immediately I said that, I turned back and I continued doing what I was doing. I was washing plates. So yeah, she now entered the house. I don't know if it was out of fear or miscalculation. I don't know, but she panicked. She sharp panicked. That's the end point. So as I turned washing back the plates, I turned now. She managed to lift up the pot where the oil was, and the fire was really really getting wild, like he wanted to start picking up other things that were ready by the cooker. I'm trying to pour the oil outside, and she carried it out of fear and panic, and she just wanted to pour the whole pot outside, like to just how do they say, put off the fire in her head, in her mind. That's what she wanted to do. But apparently, as she poured it, the fire and the oil, everything combines together. That's why I say fire and oil, because fire was actually catching from the oil. Huge fire. As she poured it, that was me, a baby girl, just gingerly bending down to wash plates, and all of a sudden I heard shwa. At that point, I did not feel any pain, because the information was still being sent to my brain. The information had nearly reached to my brain that something major had happened. I just heard shwa, and I did not think it was actually my leg frying. I thought it was something else frying. Maybe she had actually put the dodo on fire and it was frying. I wasn't feeling any pain. Then I was just standing and looking at the whole scenario, like, what just happened? When you're at that shock point and you're like, somebody wake me up, what just happened? That was what I was going through. Then she started shouting, screaming and crying. Then all the neighbors, the compound came out, all the mothers came out, everybody came out. Then every African mother is a nurse, right? So people started doing first aid. They carried me from that incident where it actually happened. They took me to another part of the compound, like almost the entrance. And then people were just like, bring raw egg. People were breaking raw egg on me, pouring honey on me. At that point still, I wasn't feeling pain, fam. To be honest, I wasn't still feeling pain at that time. I was just like, why are these people panicking? Why are they shaking? Like, what was irritating me at that point was they were pouring things on me. I don't really like the smell of, like, honey. I don't really like the smell of honey. It irritates me, and raw egg as well. So that was what was irritating me at that point. Like, why are people pouring things that are irritating me on? I was just not comfortable. Yes, per se. So eventually they poured, and everybody was giving their own remedy, their own first aid. My mother came out. She was in the compound as well. She was in the house that Saturday. She came out, carried me, rushed me to the hospital, and fam, that was where the pain started. Like, all what those people were doing in the compound, all what my neighbors were doing in the compound, like, they were on their own. I wasn't feeling anything. I was just irritated, like, the smell of everything. I don't know how long that information took to reach my brain. Once we reached the hospital, that's when I knew that something major had hit me. Fam, that's when I experienced pain, a different level of pain. I don't even want to even just imagine it. Like, my whole stay in the hospital was very very, I don't know, terrible, horrific, whatsoever. Recalling it now, I'm laughing, but at that time it wasn't funny. I think I stayed about 2 months in the hospital. Yes, because that's how severe it was. I mean, at one point the doctors was even scared, like I wasn't going to move, because you could actually see my vein on my ankle. This vein behind your ankle that is so sensitive, right? When you sprain your ankle, they always say that there's one vein there that is paining you, that's why you are limping. That vein, like, the scar was so deep, like it was just actually a very thin layer that was there before the vein. This thin layer of egg, when you peel egg, there's a very thin membrane in the eggshell. After the eggshell, yes, that was like the thinnest layer that was there before the vein. So you could see the vein, you could see everything that was happening on my leg, you could see my bone, you could see my skin, you could see all the layers of skin. Those who did biology, right? You could see all the layers of the skin, you could see flesh, raw flesh. That was how raw the leg was. I mean, at that point, a very disgusting sight to see. So I was staying in the hospital every day. They'll come dress the wound, like in the mornings were my worst days ever, because apparently before sleeping they will always cover the legs with gauze, what they call gauze. I think it's a cotton something that they use in the hospitals. So they'll always cover my leg with gauze to prevent flies and other insects from actually coming to land. When you have wounds, all that stuff here. So that's what they'll do. And when they cover the leg with gauze, the gauze actually goes and tight with my meat, like the flesh of my, like, like if it's here your skin, imagine that inner skin, and it's tight, it's glued to gauze. So in the morning they have to come and take out that gauze, and it was like they were taking out my skin, like they were just removing out my whole flesh. That was the feeling. In the mornings when I see all those number of nurses walking in, I'm just like, Elomo, your own has come. Like, what kind of life is this? I would just start crying. And at that time I was much younger. I don't know how to manage pain. You know, when children are in pain, they just cry. I don't know how to shock things. I mean, like, don't cry. But even if it happens now, I'm sure I'll still cry, because it was so, I don't know, it was so painful. So every morning they'll come and do that. I think that's even what even make the wound not even dry fast, because they actually still, like, every day they have to remove upper flesh that was even getting dry. Then when they remove it, it starts bleeding, like everything goes back to square one. They have to pour betadine on it. They pour betadine on it. You see how my flesh, like, starts bubbling. Like, there was a solution. I don't know how they call that solution. I think it was concentrated salt and something. There's a solution. There's a name, please. If you're a nurse and you know the name, please just write it down. It's concentrated salt and water. They pour it there, like, you see the way your meat starts bubbling. My God. I don't even want to even remember, because it was so painful. Like, I stayed there 2 months in the hospital, and after that we equally left the hospital. You guys should bless me, please. I need to bless my parents. Like, they have suffered for me from small. I mean, they have spent so much on my head, and I just need to bless them. Like, looking back at it, I'm like, baby girl, hustle. Your parents have spent money. Do you know what it means? My father paid all those bills single-handedly. I pitied my mother that period. Like, hospital became her home. You know, you're fine, but you're somewhere you're not comfortable. She was sleeping in the hospital, like, for how long? She was so give God the glory. We are fine. I'm able to move today. Everything is okay. So eventually went home. I think this thing happened like second term. Yeah, during second term, like that, for the academic year. So my school year just ended for me, because I could not work. I could not go to school. So I went back home. Nurses were only coming to the house to come and dress the wound. So I was just seated, like everything was being done for me. They give me food, they bathe me, they do this, they do that. Everything was being done for me. And what my mom did was, because I had friends, classmates that were actually staying by me. Directly opposite me, I had a classmate. By me, adjacent to me, I had a classmate. So when they come back from school, my mom would take their books and look at what they studied in school and try to teach me. But thank the Lord, she's a teacher, so she would just easily just do it. I had to learn in the house. So yes, that was how it all happened, and I stayed home. I don't know how long I stayed home, but I think I should started school the next academic year. I was better enough to start school. I recovered, although I was not fully recovered. So yes, that's how it all happened. And fam, I have lived to that scar now from then till now. Like, how many years ago? Years and years ago. It's now part of me. I don't even know. Like, when I walk and people see me and they're like, oh my God, what happened to your leg? Is it paining? Is it paining? Are you in pain? I'm like, fam, this thing happened years and years ago. Why are you guys seeing it like it's fresh? Sometimes the people even tell me, what's that on your leg? I'm like, what's that? Because I've even forgotten that it's there. That's how much I have lived to it. So I've even forgotten that it's even there. So when you mention it, you're actually reminding me that, oh, I have something there. But I have no problem with it. No, I have no problem with it. I'll just explain to you. I was involved in an accident, like any other accident. So yes, that's how it is. If you see me on the streets, let me just save you the stress of asking me, and save me the stress of explaining to you. I'll just explain it to you now, what happened and how I'm living with the scar. It does not actually make me feel like, I'm not shy about it. You know that some people have scars who suffer from this kind of incidents, and they get shy, like, of that part. They always wear long dresses to cover their scars and all that stuff. Baby girl is accepting me to my full chest. because when I look at it, I'm like, Elomo, this is an act to show you that you're a very kind girl. Kindness in this life will kill you. Having said that, hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I actually enjoyed recalling it and laughing. Fam, I could not think I would laugh like this when I'm telling this story when it was actually happening. So yes, if you have experienced any incident like this of any kind, please leave it down in the comment section. What was it like for you? What was your own experience? Leave it down in the comment section. Let's know, let's discuss, let's chat, all that good stuff. Okay, so make sure you subscribe. I just give you guys gist. Okay, share this video, share this video. Okay, I'm going to see you guys unfailingly, God helping us, on my next one on Sunday. Bye, fam.